Hey guys, I'm Briggs, and today I'm going to be meeting with Harrison, and we're going to be talking about his experience at the Naval Academy and his experience leading up to his service in the military in the Navy. So, what motivated you to join the Naval Academy? Let's get right into it.
Well, so the Naval Academy, that was actually an interesting process for me. I wasn't considering the military in any other capacity. It was mainly about the academy itself. And originally it was I wanted to study engineering and I wanted to do rowing, and all in a place where I thought I would be the best version of myself. It more became the third piece more than the engineering and rowing, because I didn't study engineering. I studied computer science, and then I stopped rowing. Um, but at the end of the day, it was the place that I saw where it was I observed people that I wanted to be like. That was the biggest deciding factor for me in terms of, okay, that's where I want to be, because I want to be like those people. I've heard many adults saying some of the best people they hire come from the service academies and the Naval Academy, and that quote really stuck with me.
Mhm.
I could be like some of those best people. So that was where the motivation came from for me.
Yeah. So, when you got into the Naval Academy, what do you recall about that day?
Um, so I'll never forget it. I was in high school. I got an email. It was called a letter of assurance that I received, which basically said, "Hey, provided everything goes well with your medical background, you've gotten in." Um, it was it was excitement, but also a lot of nerves, because I knew that it was not going to be necessarily the most pleasant choice, but I also knew that I would regret it forever if I had never given it a shot. So it was kind of something that I knew was going to be hard, that I just had to get through, and to at least see through. And yeah, so it was kind of like I felt excited, but also a big weight as well.
Mhm. Uh, and the day you committed, do you recall anything from that day?
So there was no specific day I committed.
Mhm.
Um, it was just kind of a long period of, okay, I've got to do this. Oh, sorry, no, wait, there was a day I committed. 2 years into the Naval Academy,
Mhm.
we sign a commitment saying you owe at least 7 years more of service, if not more, depending on your community that you select. Um, and if you choose to leave, you owe the school back the money you pay. So that was the commitment day, 2 years after. I felt pretty sure about it after 2 full years at the academy, because I saw it as an opportunity to take my education into my own hands, to be kind of a full adult. I really craved for the past 4 years, especially like real adult responsibility. Like I'll have my first apartment. Um, I'm moving into that, and this is just kind of a way of, it's not free, in that there's a lot of sacrifice and inconvenience that'll come in the future. Um, but it's something that I can do, and so I was just like, okay, this is me doing something.
Yeah.
I took a lot of pride in making that choice.
So now moving on to future, how do
Mm-hmm.
you envision life in the Navy?
Um, in the near future, so I think I'll speak to my situation because it might be different from most. So the community that I'm going into has a lot to deal with my background and my skill set. So I'm a computer science major, and cybersecurity is of the Navy's concern. And so I'll be doing that. And I'm also moving to a pretty good location. I'll be out in Hawaii. So for the first few years, it'll be good, in terms of I'm going to be learning so much in a very cool place. Um, but I also hope to be operational. And I think that being operational, meaning I'll go on different platforms, like maybe a submarine, maybe a plane. And when you're operational, I don't expect it to necessarily be always the most fun, but it's the quality of people that I expect to be around. That's what keeps me going. Like, these people are very competent. They're very, easygoing but also, safe when that matters, because safety matters a lot when you're on dangerous platforms. And just, I think it's the quality of people that I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah. So speaking of being operational, you were on a sub
Yes.
a couple years back.
Yes, just for a cruise. I wasn't doing anything, but I was able to witness what was going on.
You want to explain what that was like?
Yes, it was really eye-opening. The submarine itself was really small, and the only place I could go to be out of the way of the sailors and officers, working, was my bed, and that was really humbling. I think we connected well with the crew when we kind of acknowledged to them our uselessness at the time. Because really all we were doing was taking up space, which is so valuable in the submarine. Like there's just no space. We were taking up space, taking up beds. You know, some people were sharing beds, like sleeping in beds at different periods of time so that we could each have our own bed. When we acknowledged that to them and like, hey, we understand what you guys are going through so that we can enjoy this experience and get the most out of it. That's when we kind of connected and they opened up to us and, you know, welcomed us as part of the boat. And I think that it taught me a lot in humility. It also taught me a lot in just like observing what was going on. I've never seen a group of people go from relaxing to completely like on, like I saw that sub do. It was really, really inspiring to see, and you know just how much that those people have sacrificed, and that I'll have the opportunity to sacrifice the same is really, really something.
Yeah. So, moving on, just explaining what the Naval Academy is like. What's a typical day for you?
So a typical day. So it's different if you're an athlete or not. I used to be an athlete. I used to row on the crew team. I don't anymore, but I'll just do it for the NARP, as they say, the non-athletic regular person. We wake up, have morning quarters formation at 7 o'clock. That's usually when some announcements are passed, maybe uniforms and rooms are inspected or whatever. Then we go to class until noon, have noon meal formation, and have lunch. Typically, without COVID, we'd sit all together as a full school and eat family style. And that's also really special. I love that. Then there's like a training period. So my position this year is I'm a training officer. I take care of the plebes and make sure that, you know, they're doing plebes are freshman equivalent. And the freshman year is pretty hard in particular because there's a lot of, it's almost like, it's not quite like pledging, but there are a lot of hard rules that they have to follow, and there's a lot on their plates.
Yeah.
And so helping them out, but also keeping them accountable with that's kind of what I do. And so there's a period for that from 12:50 to 1:20. Then we've got more school from 1:30 to 3:30. And then afterwards is the designated sports period. So you just do, if you aren't on a sports team or you don't play intramurals or you don't have extracurriculars, you just do something athletic. I see, so like right outside over there is the big field where literally thousands of people just go to work out at the same time. It's pretty cool to see. And then dinner is just kind of on your own, and study period is, I think it's from 8 to 10. So it's a long day, busy day, but again, there's a lot to look forward to, especially, you know, being together, eating lunch together. That's my favorite part.
So, I know all over the place, but I'm going back to the beginning. When you first decided to join and go to the Naval Academy, what was your parents' reaction to it?
Oh, both of them were very supportive. So neither of my parents are involved with the military at all. I think distant family is, but family was not a reason why I came or anything. But they were very, very proud. And also, once my parents understood that I wouldn't be committing until 2 years into the Naval Academy, very, very confident that this was the right thing. I'm sure they're always concerned for my safety, and to be honest, they'd be concerned for my safety no matter what I did. Right now, they're more concerned for me when I tell them I'm going to go drive somewhere. They like, all right, text us when you get there, you know, that kind of thing. So I haven't noticed anything like that. It's been nothing but support from my mom and dad and from my sister.
Yeah. And what about your friends from school?
The Naval Academy?
Yeah, no, from high school. Did they have any particular reaction to it?
So I don't know if this is a product of anything in particular, but I will note that I have I kind of lost touch with a lot of my high school friends. I mean, I think that's typical because we kind of all go our separate ways, but there's a lot more flexibility when you're not at the Naval Academy, and I think some of them have been able to take advantage of that flexibility to hang out together. And when they found out that I was going, it was like I was going anywhere. It was like a very exciting thing senior year. They said it made sense for me because they knew me, and I guess it's easier to see that when you're not me and you're looking at someone but it was nothing but support from them. I just wish that I had the opportunity to see them. But I will say I've made really, really good friends here, and I think that also might be part of it. I've just connected so well with the people that I saw that I wanted to be like.
Mm-hmm. So back to school. Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific traditions that you enjoy?
Yeah, so unfortunately, a lot of them had to kind of take a back burner this year. Mm-hmm. But some of my favorites, and some of everyone's favorites, really, the Spirit Weeks, they're just too good. So we've got these big football games against Air Force and Army, and the weeks leading up to those games have historically been pretty wild. There's just a lot of pranks pulled. It's impossible to get schoolwork done effectively. I wouldn't say impossible, but it's more just kind of a test of like, okay, how seriously do you take yourself? You know, are you okay with getting peanut butter in your face or whatever? I'd say those Spirit Weeks, because there's nothing really set in stone that happens during those Spirit Weeks other than maybe, well, the dining hall is usually pretty interesting with food being thrown and stuff. That's kind of gone down though. We haven't eaten in the dining hall this year, but that's probably got to be it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So I'm just going to go with my experience. So
yeah,
I was thinking about applying to the service, specifically the Naval Academy. But I mean, when I brought that up to my friends and my teachers, they were kind of shocked. Not in that it wasn't like a part of my personality, but more so that, you know, joining the military was a shocker.
Okay.
So you said you didn't experience that, right? I mean, did you have any teachers or anyone that was kind of just like, why would you join the military?
I had not that I remember specifically, although I had some people, one of my friends, it wasn't necessarily like, why would you do that in terms of, you know, I think that's an immoral choice. It was more of like, that's such a restrictive choice. That's what I got from a couple of my friends. Like, that's just, you know, you're limiting your free expression, whatnot. And, you know, that worried me a little bit, but I really had to see it for myself. And I think
those first 2 years were for.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're for. I think it's a beautiful thing that the way the service academies are set up. You can't know until you try. And I'm definitely not saying that the Naval Academy is perfectly representative of what actual service is like. But what I do think it does a good job of is giving you a taste of some of the restrictions that are going to be on you, like freedom of speech, something that a lot of people take for granted. You know, we are a completely apolitical organization. You cannot, you know, if you've got beliefs on social media, you've got to be careful. You can't, you know, you've got to make sure that you separate your personal beliefs from what you may represent on social media. You know, instantly when you're in uniform, you represent something bigger than just Harrison or whatever. I can't. So I think I've been prepared well for that. I haven't, you know, I like the way that you put it. I will serve soon. I haven't served a day yet, so that's how I see it.
Well, that's really all for me. I mean, if you have any questions for me or anything in particular you want to talk about.
No, I hope I gave the answers you were looking for. That's just
definitely.
That was as honest as I could be about the experience that I've had. It's been an interesting ride, especially the past couple of years, but I'm definitely I don't have any regrets about signing the commitment I signed at the end of the 2 years.
That's great. Well, it was good talking to you. I
Yeah.
wish I would have gone to another football game this year, but
yeah, I'm gonna try and go to some game. So I'm gonna be like in Annapolis for the next few months, just working for the academy before I get started with like my real job. So I'm gonna try and get to more games, and it'll probably be a lot more fun and less restrictive as a graduate rather than as a mid. I won't have to be in uniform or anything, so it'll be nice. So.
All right. Well, it was great talking to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully I see you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.